And I posted the link in guild chat on Discord if you want to follow the raid on stream. Since evening. We just did some pre-invite just to get inside the Blackwing Lair. Huh? Yeah, still missing tanks. Haven't tried yet.
In a 2-hour fight.
When they start screaming, "I'm dying," then you log in.
Greetings. Go with honor, friend.
Let's see if I get some tips from this. For the stream, or we can do it like this. That fabric is very, very stretchy, it seems.
Open for business.
But I would guess if we went in the day before, we do a clean raid, clear the trash before Brewlord or whatever, or after. I mean, before Firemaw, and not killing Firemaw, and then wait the 30 minutes for the soft reset. Empty vial.
Safe travels.
At least we know the abilities. Hello. Hello. Well, I can log in on Nimsy, but I'm saving buff at the moment. Ah. Hello.
You need something?
Ooh la la.
Light bless you.
At some point, it's going to be easy to clear Blackwing Lair to Stratholm. Yeah. But after a clear, we basically just can invite people to a raid and people can go in and make flasks. Because it'll be empty. I think. Do I have push to talk? I should have push to talk. Yeah, I do.
Can we try that? Like, why not?
Shooting.
Okay, with the of nice.
I'll relock. All of a sudden, everyone's gonna get raped because we forgot a pack in the corner. Let's go into VR.
Okay, hi guys and girls. Firstly, and probably most importantly, thank you everyone for spending time to try on a non-great role to make this happen.
Haha, we got Molko.
And
No.
so yes, no, all jokes aside, thank you to everyone. Everybody taking the time out makes great. I'm not going to bang on too long tonight because obviously we want to get this done. So any obviously if you've got 35 minutes, great. If you've got the extra coming along, working with so it's on my pace, I think. Coming along. In no particular order, congratulations to both Wiz and
Woohoo. Prepare for a huge bill in your mail.
Did you not mention that to me? Why?
Shite.
Wagon as well, been promoted and Kingsley as well, been promoted after the raid this evening. If you haven't already seen, and I think you have on the side, the other side over today, or this week, either Wednesday onwards, ads on for up on Monday, that has been the announcement been made. We get Blackwing Lair down to this 9.5, i.e. the whole week on Thursday. Well, or at least on Thursday. I'm sure that's obviously the case, but the reason why I'm putting that out is to let you know if previous reviews were disappointing, expecting it to be Monday and then having to find it to be Thursday. So to everyone, we welcome Aval, Alval, is that Alval? Alval, we welcome Alval. Thank you. As
Welcome.
Miguel being our new host with that who replace Shadowborn, who I think is possibly the closest Fury Warrior, previously Agent Flash, has asked anybody else in the time
Ooh.
Maybe you want to educate yeah, so we are gonna find you on
Yeah.
try against that.
The hardest boss in the raid. Ah, yeah. The orbs come first.
Two last things. Ghost mounts. I both ghost mounts say depends on tactics, depth, or
Yeah. Yeah.
and as always, guys, again, I say, there was one other last thing. In case anyone's wondering, we have a grand total of 61 sands tonight. Finally, during the introduction by Widget, led to 20 sands for the field. That's enough from me. I will actually no. Let's get this one done.
Yeah. Let Reese my control.
So not safe buff. Oh, don't kill him. Not safe buff now.
I think maybe because combat, maybe. No, there's a curse. There we go. Then every miner should get near him.
All miners get to the front.
If you're not a miner, go away from him. And once you learned it, move away.
Excellent.
I wanted to. I wanted to. I wanted to. Woohoo! Let's hope he drops 20 hours and. Oof. Definitely. Definitely. 2 seconds. Just need to turn off some music. Okay, first of all, welcome to this clearing raid. So, the good thing is we are not able to pull him, so we have all the time in the world to plan this attack. First, I will explain the positions for everyone. Dervin should be right here, where I'm standing, which is our main tank, of course. The boss is going to be placed right here next to the pillar. All the melee basically pew pew from this side. And whenever there is an ability called out, you move to this corner here. But today we know our two abilities, so we are lucky. But normally we wait out of line of sight until we know both of the abilities. Today, of course, we have the Ignite Flash and we have Time Lapse. So we can basically DPS from the get-go, and once the Ignite Flash comes, we move out of line of sight. Okay, same as the ranged. They can basically also DPS until the first ability is called out, and then they can move out of line of sight. Except the Tranquilizing Shot Hunter, which I think the widget you had something smart fix about that you can tell us about later. We're gonna assign two dispellers for the melee and two dispellers for the ranged here. But in any case, if you get two curses or magic or whatever on you, plus the bronze, you use your restorative potion just to help out a bit. Well, should I go through all the abilities again they have? Because we basically only have the Ignite Flash and Time Lapse. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna assign someone to be saying melee in, melee out, stuff like that. Don't worry. Okay, for today, as we have Ignite Flash, if you are in line of sight of Chromagis and when he's casting this, you'll receive a fire damage dot that does around 700 to 900 damage every 3 seconds for 45 seconds. So, the one downside here, if you have the bronze debuff, remember you have to go out of line of sight 8 seconds before the ability, so you have time in case you get stunned. Same as the ranged, of course, because we are limited on our hourglass sand, so melee and ranged, except the Tranquilize Hunter, should receive sands. We don't need the Onyxia Skullcroak, no. Okay, as for time lapse, this require for an off tank to start doing DPS with us, the melee, from the beginning. Once the time lapse is put into place, off tank moves out of line of sight before it hits and waits out here in the corner with the where I'm standing right now. That means when time lapse hits, everyone's health gonna be reduced by 50% and the aggro table is gonna be wiped. So the only one who has threat is basically the off tank who is out of line of sight. So your job is to quickly go in, position Chromagis the same spot. And while this is going on, no DPS on Chromagis at all until the tank has him in place. And he says, okay, good to go. Once the time lapse ability is over, you will get your 50% health back. As for the afflictions, well, there's the Black Broad Affliction is a curse. It increases fire damage taken by 100%. The Blue Broad Affliction is a magic. It burns 50 mana over 1 second. Burn 50 mana every second, and casting speed reduced by 50%. So there is the Green Broad Affliction, which is a poison. It deals 250 damage every 5 seconds, and healing effects reduced by 50%. There is the Red Broad Affliction, which is a disease. It deals 50 damage every 3 seconds. And if you die while having the Red Broad Affliction, you will heal Chromagis. The last one is the Bronze Broad Affliction. No one can dispel the curse. It will periodically stun you for 4 seconds. So that's why you have to run out 8 seconds before the ability is being cast, meaning in our case, ignite flesh. So when you can see there's 8 seconds left and you have the bronze, you start move out. Yeah. It comes to my attention. I pronounced the brute affliction wrongly. Didn't I say that brute affliction? Brute, black brute. Okay, brute. Okay, okay. I know that now. Okay. The hourglass sands for this raid is basically going to be distributed to our main tank and our off tank, and I would guess our
How generous.
tranquilized hunters going to receive one or two as well. Okay. So just to put in the timer for when things happens in the fight, 30 seconds into the fight, the first breath of with abilities gonna be cast, which means probably ignite flesh if they came in the same order as they did last. So 30 seconds in, everyone, of course, before that should move out of line of sight. 15 seconds after, you're gonna get the first brute affliction. Um, and then 15 seconds after that again, we're gonna get time lapse. That's where we all gonna stay in line of sight, and the off tank moves out. This means all the healers who are standing out of line of sight, healing the main tank, you have to move out, and you are in line of sight of Chromacus. Because if you stay out of line of sight and you have more threat than the off tank, Chromacus will go for you. So yeah, don't overdo it. Yeah. So of course, mages, you put your detect magic on Chromacus, and you're gonna call out whatever his vulnerability is, so we know what we can do with him. And as Devin says, don't overdo it, cause we kind of like to keep threat on the tank. And that is basically the fight. And I would rather have you run out maybe 1 or 2 seconds before the 8 seconds if you're unsecure, and if you have the bronze brute affliction. Um, Survivability is more important than having a high damage on the meters. Because if you basically die, that means 0 DPS from you. Um, and that's not good. So, any questions? Yeah. So whoever's off tanking, I would guess heavy link. Make sure you run back to this position where Devin is standing right now, and you might have to move Chromagis over and then turn him. Okay. So I'll quickly or do an overlay what we're gonna do here. Everyone's gonna stand in positions. Melee stay out of line of sight in the corner. Range stay out of line of sight except the healers. Of course, we're gonna have a warlock summon Devin, who's gonna run in, pull the lever, accept the summon, and put back in his spot here. Chromac is gonna pull in, and when he comes in, Devin is gonna do some DPS, slack and hack, slack, dig. And then Devin says, "Okay, melee, you can start slow DPS. We can start slow DPS, same as the ranged." And then 30 seconds in the fight, I would guess we're gonna get Ignite Flesh first. 8 seconds after, or 8 seconds before timer, you move out of line of sight. Only Devin should receive this Ignite Flesh. After the Ignite Flash is over, you can then again move out, keep DPSing. And basically, if you are a DPS, you stay out for the next ability, except the off tank. He runs out of line of sight before the ability, of course. And then once the ability has been popped, Chromatic is changed target. Everyone should stop DPS when the second ability comes out. Let Heavy Link move Chromatic into position. When he's in position, Heavy Link's gonna say, "Okay, you can start DPS." Then we're gonna get our third breath again, Ignite Flash, melee out of line of sight, ranged out of line of sight. Only Heavy Link in this case stays on the boss. Doing all this, it's important that the main tank, or in this case main tanks, has priority on being dispelled, decursed, cleansed. They should never have a curse, magic, or poison disease on them. And that's why they are receiving more Hourglass, because we do not want them to get stunned with the Bronze Brute Affliction during this fight, because that can basically screw us over. So that was basically how this fight is. So make sure you move out when you're supposed to, and stay in outer sight when you're supposed to. Which we will call out, yeah. Yeah. So, shoot. Basically every other potion. About Hellstones, I do not know if they share it with Hellstones. Okay, okay, good to know. But for those who brought their restorative potions, I recommend that if I would guess you get the bronze broad affliction. You cannot do anything about it. But if you get 2 other brood afflictions, you pop your restorative potion, and it should basically remove those 2 and the third incoming also, and that will help the dispeller, decurser, cleanser a lot. So yeah, shoot.
Since I'm off the 18, would it be more beneficial if I try to pop side bronze affliction?
No, everyone is in who is in this room is gonna receive the bronze. You cannot get out line of sight from it. But you are required to build threat on Chromagis with the melee in the beginning.
That's what you said. Yep.
More questions?
Yeah, any other questions, boys? Incoming third question.
Yeah. Yeah, right here. And once the time lapse is up, you have to move a bit out. We will say time lapse, and you should see the green triangle. This is your position. When we say time lapse, you basically do this. That's it. Once the time lapse is over, we would say then you move back in your position and you keep healing. That's all you have to do. Yeah, once a minute. Yeah.
That's why you have the sound.
So, any more questions? Yeah. No. The only thing you get back is your 50% health you lost from the beginning. It starts a new threat table. And of course, I forgot we do need to have some kind of tranquilized shot rotation put on hunters, because the same hunters, if he gets the ignite flash, the timer on the debuff is longer than the time between abilities, so he can get two of them, if I'm correct.
Now I think Widget had a
Yeah. So if you would you?
all your four hunters when you've got the backup. But it says Bruce Plus, very good Raven Hunter. Spirits are not worried about weaknesses. It's a massive burst, so plus auto shot and spam train shot. Swordsmonger like the add-on rank on Pokemon. That's the biggest side for requiring train shot. But we find by just spamming train shot, it's a lot quicker than okay, now I need to train shot, press train shot. So it's just a simple ability. So for example, Isis Burst, you just auto shot, range multi shot and spam train shot. That's all you do. Then once you unchains him, very good, start spamming train shot and flash like aim shots or whatever units you want. After very good train shot, then Raven Hunter will just auto attack and spam train shot. It uses the same stupid conversion unit. And another note is it will get ready for like 20%. And in that scenario, it's better for you to die trying to get train shot or the common thread. So for hunters specifically, you want like Venus Burst. If they lose plus, but then he's going to be ready and also lose threat. Just getting train shot or die kind of things. Just you might have to just the tank is really good. But that was the easiest way for us to do it.
Okay. So I hope the hunters in this raid has put up some kind of a macro, uh, so they are announcing when it. Yeah. And does Raven? I guess Raven has it as well, and Moose. And Moose.
Well, well, Michael, you know, you can play Roy.
Yeah. True.
As one person that's very good like it's very visual when the train shot goes off and it's crazy. So you can also have like maybe one of the hunters or somebody else just call, say like us goes off very good Raven hunting. That's what I was doing last night. Like I just called my hunters and showed them how awesome it was. It was quite cool.
Um,
Okay, so Raven, what did you say?
and shoot until you die.
Any other questions? Maybe it's already too early for you. Maybe this is the story of the day, right? Okay, are there any other good spell that in general you like raid-wise? Or is it just
Well, as I said in the beginning, we're gonna assign 2 in the melee group and 2 in the range group to do whatever they can to, and they should focus on that only. Um,
progressive response on
yeah. I would be most with one who is most how do you put it, familiar with the add-on, so he knows which target he should go for first.
oh, I had this
Okay, and everyone has fixed this. Okay, so but we do need a second one in here who can cleanse. Well, if they're not assigned to as right now, they are basically doing damage to Chromagus. But if we are saying, well, this starts to get critical, they might stop doing DPS and start dispelling if we're gonna get overrun. Um, yeah, yeah, and Gilligan with the ranged. Paladins, can they remove poison and disease?
yes.
So I would say put a paladin with the melee and with the range as well. Who wanna touch my butt?
Okay, all good. That's
Sure,
my
sure,
all in.
sure, Shardy. Well, if you have surplus time, you would of course throw a few heals. But I would say first focus is trying to dispel. But I think that was basically all the roles. We should basically use first aid if we are getting hit by something. We should not be getting hit by any dots, for the matter. But if the thing is, well, first aid is our go-to. Make sure you don't have a debuff on your dot. Mm, yeah, If everyone is ready, we should have a warlock go to Darren. Time to take a deep breath. Lethal and Mew. And Darren, you say when we can go slow DPS and all that jazz, as you normally do. Okay. I'll do my best. But I'm damn nervous. Oh. Didn't someone work? Okay. You say when? What the heck? What the? Time lapse. My first breath was not on my DBM. Move out. My DBM is not fitting what the boss is doing. I'm the only one with that problem. Yeah, now that comes, but the ignite first one didn't fit. Stay out of line of sight, line of sight, line of sight. Stay in line of sight. That was a crappy attempt. Move out. Yep. Yeah, I think mine is working now. So time lapse in 15 seconds. So everyone should stay in line of sight now. Except Heavy. So
Guys,
no.
that I out of line of sight because I got
Yeah. Well, the DPM did not fit with the timer in the beginning, so I didn't get the warning for the breath. So I guess we kind of do have to stay out of line of sight for the first one until we get the knights, so DPM can catch up. Yeah, wipe and just release and run. So yeah, so we're gonna stay out of line of sight for until we get the first breath. So it have the correct timer on DPM, and after that we kind of know we just stay in line of sight for the second. So yeah, release and run. Uh, Mind controlled. Oh, because you have the chromatic, yeah. A lot to handle it. My poor stress level. Holy crap. So if we get in, we should not get near and Gillick. He's gonna wipe us. Ah, okay. No, of course we are not on the table. Mm,
watch your point activation because it's
from the entrance? Mm, yeah. But yeah, just log out.
so possible.
For those who are standing in the middle of the room, I would not recommend standing there. You have a chance to pull the boss. How far did we get Chromagis down to?
Don't touch what you can't afford.
Um,
Progress.
Progress.
Most major
Yeah. But I think the thing that screwed us over was that we didn't get the first breath on the DPM. So I didn't get the timers. For me, it was all way out there. So either that or I'm blind. 8 seconds at least. If we get broad. Broad. Look, he's humping Angelica. Aww. Uh, you do have to release and run though. Oh well. Yeah. Fart. Just change target.
Don't touch what you can't afford.
I guess the silence says she says okay. Buffety buff. So we are staying out for the first through to the first ignition, like Night Flash, just to be sure. It's a marathon. So this is basically the streams watch, how you're going to see me kill the boss. I guess soon we're gonna get an Nefarian buff as well. Nervous. Yeah, you go, Devin. See, first breath, 26 seconds. Okay. Heavy out, heavy out. Melee, stay in. Stop DPS. Move him into position.
I got hits. I got hit also in the corner.
Wait, don't DPS, don't DPS, let him move in. Ignite, out of line of sight. Okay, heavy out. Melee, stay in. Stop DPS. Perfect. Ignite flash, melee move out. But this time it went a lot better. Make sure you use your restorative potion. I would guess it's a good time now. Yeah. So. Yeah, heavy out, yeah. Turn him. That was a perfect transition there, to be honest. Knee out. Heavy out. Heavy out. Ignite phase in 6. Move out. This is good practice. This is good practice. Keep going. And Heavy needs to move out. yeah, I just saw you stunned, yeah. So I'm guessing if he's too close to the melee position, they're gonna get the Ignite Flash. This is good practice. This is very good practice. Yeah. Melee and range, you do have to move before time, because don't use. Come on, stay in. Okay. Stay in, yeah. Come on, line of sight. You can do it. Oh no.
Distance.
But this was very good practice, to be honest. So heavy. Come on, quick, 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 heavy. Oh.
Just I
No.
got it.
It's fine.
I got by mistake.
But this was very good practice, getting out, in and out, stuff like that. Release and run. Exactly. Hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was something. It has a safety camera. But I also saw that if it extended the boss to heavy, that's good progress.
Definitely, definitely good progress. Yeah. Yeah. Progression, progression, progression.
Yeah. So now I'll be in the notes.
It went pretty smooth after a few attempts in there, yeah. And of course, you're gonna try and position him further in the middle of the doorway, I guess. Okay, so we are moving out here. Okay. Yeah. 50% health, but the threat table should be wiped. Go, Devin. Strength. Okay. Lava file. shit. We got this. Incoming yelling. Friggin' yes! Oish. Yeah, so for now we have a 10-minute break. We're gonna have a 10-minute break now. We have 2 warrior shoulders? Oh my god. Ooh, exciting. But no. That's mate. That's mate. Yep. Very good job. I got a screenshot, yeah. 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 I think I have 10 or 20 screenshots where we're looking like a bunch of jumping idiots. So, but do we have enough to pay back now? And before you go, as Mr. is pointing out, equip your Onyxia Scale Cloak so you don't have to think about it when you get back. So take it on right now. Right now. And for stream, that means you're gonna see on all these goops for 8 minutes. Maybe I can dance. Yeah, and of course we get them. a dead one. Yeah, a dead one doesn't give any breath. I still have my health on me. I do. Basically a ninja pool, yeah. Um, I have a question. I first start my locking for the last kill before we pulled the last one. So basically, we one-shotted him. What happens in Blackwing Lair stays in Blackwing Lair. Party all around. Yes. Thank you. Okay, whenever we are ready, buffed all that, someone's gonna talk with this marked circle over here at the throne. Once that happens, actually before that, everyone should pop a greater shadow protection potion, and then we talk to the guy. It will start the event. We will have two groups, actually three groups. We are going to be positioned all depending what color of drakes that comes out of this door where I'm standing right now, where I'm pinging map here, and what color that comes from the other door where the circle is jumping down there. We basically have one, two, three, four, five, six different kind of dragonoids, but we only gonna get two of the colors. That's what they were talking about before. That we need to do some sort of ninja pool to figure out what colors we have, and then reset the fight. Or we could do it on a whim, placing everyone in the middle, and then depending on what color, split the teams out right away from that point. We will figure that out later. Okay, if we get the black dragonoids, they will do a single target fire damage with high resistance to shadow and fire. This means if they are coming from either, if they come from this gate, that means warlocks, you should be standing at the other gate. If we get the blue dragonoids, which burns 50 mana from nearby players and reduces their attack speed uh, for melees, and they have a high resistance to frost spells, which again here means mages should be at the opposite gate. There's a bronze dragonoids. They do a slow attack and casting speed on players, and they have high resistance to arcane spells, so it doesn't matter there what. Um, then there is the green dragonoids. They periodically put players to sleep for 2 seconds, and they have a high resistance to nature spells. Again, we shouldn't have a problem. There's the red dragonoids. They have a fire attack with a dot effect on the target, and they have high resistance to fire. Again, we shouldn't have a trouble here. For each wave we're gonna get a chromatic dragonoids. They will only spawn one per wave. They have high resistance to all magical spells. So melee, you need to be quick on your toes taking him down, because he have a very high health pool. So we're gonna put melees in both groups, of course. Okay, so once we killed 42 of these sorry lads, phase 2 is gonna start. Before that, of course, that means Darren, 2 healers, and our candy shop. They're gonna move to around here, getting ready to put up the welcome mat for Nefarian. The reason why we have a candy shop here is because he is the decursor for Nefarian, and then he can put out the Winter's Chill on Nefarian, so it's ready for when the fight starts. The what? You can ice block out of it. Sure. Um, I see most people they just AoE them down and melee just nukes a single target then move on. Take the lowest health first and move up. But yeah, I would say AoE them down. But if we are killing them very quickly, then I would say I think it's better with single shot. Um, and oh yeah, I forgot. First phase, the healers would be a good idea to place them here in the middle, cause then they can reach kind of both sides of the room. Yeah, as back for you, if you get mage call, Candy should be able to ice block out of the mage thingy magic. Okay, so for phase two, when we kill 42 of those, the fire he will come down. He will do a shadow flame breath for the entire room. That's why we have the Onyxia Scale Cloak on. Because if you do not have that Onyxia Scale Cloak on, you will basically die. That's easy said and done. So we quickly figure out if you have forgotten to equip it. Darwin, he's gonna be solo tanking him. We don't need any off tanks or whatever. He's gonna be standing right here against the fence. The iron's gonna be right in his face, trying to kick it in, but I'll be the boss. And he's gonna basically stay here the entire fight. Of course, we need a few ward rotation on Darwin, and um, of course we need someone to cleanse Darwin at all times, because he can get the curse called Vial of Shadow, which reduces healing effects by 75%. So make sure you decurse him as soon as possible. The reason why Candy Shop is here is so he can cleanse Devon. Once Nefarian is down, whoever is quick enough to click Devon's debuff, do it. I don't care if you are DPS or not. If you can cleanse it, do it right away. Okay. As for the melee, you're gonna basically same as Onyxia and Velastra, just in front of her back leg. Don't get in front of her, because you don't want to get cleaved or shadow breath or flame breath. You do not want to get near her tail for tail swipe, so stay at the sweet spot right in front of her back leg. Healers and what's I guess hunters gonna be positioned in this so-called square I'm running around in here, or just around here. Yeah. Warlocks, you're gonna be positioned right here, around here. I'll come back to why you're positioned here later. You should be. If not, then you just move a bit ahead. But you should be able to reach Nefarian from here. The thing is, as soon as you are in reach of Nefarian, make sure you stack up. Don't spread out as we are right now. You should be as one group, one person, like here. Me and Poggy standing. Yeah, exactly. I'll get back to that later, why you're stacking up. Mages, so sorry to say, you're gonna be the Nefarian's asshole down here. You basically gonna stand here, and every time there's gonna be a class call, you have to move out a line of sight and move in, keep DPSing Nefarian. So class call, you move out, blah blah blah. That's your job the entire fight, standing down here. Okay. They shouldn't receive any damage whatsoever. So basically, they're not any way near the tail swipe, and they're definitely not near the cleave or the flame breath from Nefarian. So they should be safe standing down there, as long as they move out, because I'll come back to why they're positioned there later. Okay, as you have heard, I mentioned there is what's called a class call. Not that you're going to go back to school, but there is a somewhat ability from Nefarian for each of the classes that are in the raid. The first one is for the priests. If we're gonna get a priest call, basically a few seconds before the call, you do have to push that escape button or stop casting, because if you get priest and you do a direct heal on the tank or anyone else in the raid, you basically gonna give that target a debuff, doing damage, and we do not want that. The only thing you are able to do is renew and power word shields. Once the class call is over, you can continue going back to doing direct heals again. So if we get priests, paladins, um, what the, druids, yeah, that's what they called. You need to up your game for healing while the priest call is out. Okay, if the druids are being called out, they're gonna be stuck in cat form. Ooh, dangerous. Um, there's not much you can do. Of course, other healers has to take over what they're lacking of in that phase. Okay, if rogues get a class call, they will basically be teleported in front of Nefarian, standing right on top of Devrin. And at that point, you are required to pop a limited vulnerability potion and your evasion. Um, I'm not sure, David. Are you gonna run through the Nefarian, turning him, or okay? So we are basically keep an eye out for us if we are getting the rogue call. After that, well, basically what it means, you are not able to move. You can do DPS, all that crap, but you are not able to move. If you can vanish and move, try do it. But I am not sure you're able to. But once the class call is over, you move back to your position, and if you are low on health, I recommend you move to the out of line of sight spot right here, and you bandages up and take a breath, and then you go back to your melee DPSing. As for the mages, as I said, they are all positioned down here in the back. If they're gonna get called out for a mage call, they are basically gonna start polymorphing themselves, meaning we're gonna have a farm of giraffes, cows, lava, and goats, pigs, whatever, running around down here. There's nothing we can do about it. They basically gonna run around back behind that pillar. Yeah, dangerous. Um, so if they were placed in the middle of the raid here, that means if we gotta get a mage call, they could basically polymorphing Darren, and that could basically mean a wipe. So
I read on the show this Blackwing Lair behind the sites that's for Blackwings raid.
yeah, that's why the mages run out of line of sight behind the
Yeah, I
pillar.
read that this doesn't happen in Warcraft.
Well, we will figure it out as soon as it starts. Yeah. Mm, you'll be druid's gonna take over at that point. Oh yeah. But if Candy is able to ice block out of it, yeah. Um, yeah, I lost my thought there. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but we're gonna assign a backup cleanser for this. So Candy and I guess both the druids can get be ready for if it happens or something like that. Okay, the next one is the warriors. Same question for priests. And what do you mean? Yeah, you should. Yeah, as long as it's not a direct heal. Direct heal means Greater heal, it means flash heal, and it's heal. If you use, yeah, you can use renew and shield. That's basically it. Okay. For warriors, they're gonna be stuck in berserker stance. So healers, you need to be on your toes on Devin at this point, cause he's gonna be stuck in berserker stance, and he's gonna be there until the class call is over, and then Devin's switching back to defense stance, of course. Um, for the rest of the warriors, there's not much you can do. You just DPS, whatever. Don't take damage. But Darren is the most important one in that phase. Um, yeah. For warlocks, the reason why I positioned you right here is if we get a warlock class call, they are basically gonna summon an infernal. Actually, they're gonna summon 2 infernals per warlock. So that means how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means we're gonna get 12 infernals. This is very important that all DPS, meaning hunters, mages, melee even, stop DPS Nefarian, help take care of these infernals as quick as possible. They, from my research, they shouldn't have a lot of health, but just take care of them before you continue on Nefarian. Um, about 20-25 seconds. Um, the duration is of the class calls about 20 seconds. I th- I think there is 30 seconds between. Yeah. The reason why we couldn't test this in retail because everything is screwed up in retail. Okay, so every DPS should stop DPS on the Farian except the main tank healers, the cursors. The rest should then focus on killing these infernals as quick as possible. Basic that basically the warlocks. So that's why it's important you are stacked up right here and not spread out, because then all the infernals gonna be in a bigger area. Okay. Well, just in a case, I would say heavy link. Maybe as you are near the melees anyway, you go straight in and you do an. When you are far away from Nefarian, you do an AoE fear on them. Not fear, taunt. Yeah, and that should be basically it. Okay, now, yeah, reach them. Yeah, yeah. So this is one of the phases where mages actually have to move out of their. I'm guessing if they just run to the opposite side of the pillar right here, they should be able to AoE them down with Blizzard whatsoever. And Warlocks, I don't recommend you use your Hellfire for this, by the way. Yeah. No, they will spawn here at the Warlocks. That's why I'm stacking them up right here. Yeah. Yeah. For the Paladins, if they're in line of sight of Nefarian, they will put a shield on Nefarian, making immune to melee damage. So Paladins, you basically move to this spot right here where I'm standing. So you're not in line of sight of Nefarian. So that's basically it. You just wait here. You can heal the other healers, warlocks, but blah blah blah. Yeah, you're gonna get I think it's a 10 seconds warning before a class call comes, because otherwise inhumane. And since we don't have any shamans, we don't need to explain that one. Okay, phase 3. We want to push Nefarian to 25%. Once he is on 25%, all DPS stop. And we wait for the next class call. Oh, sorry, I forgot the hunters. An important one, sorry about that. Hunters. For the start of the fight, I recommend you equip your secondary bow, your blue bow. Because once the hunter's class call is out, Nefarian, he will basically step on your bow and break it to 0 durability. After the class call is over, you can then equip your epic bow, and from that point on, you are required to unequip your weapon and equip it again for each class call after that. So yeah. Well, that's basically the class calls. Okay, phase 3, as I said, 25%, because we do not want a class call at the 20% breaker, because that can screw everything up. So we want to stop at 25%, see the class call, get rid of the class call or wait till it's done, um, and then we get Nefarian to below 20%. And basically from that point on, we're going to get the class calls, etc., etc., and we basically kill Nefarian. Oh yeah, at 20%, he will then resurrect the entire group of the two Dragonoids. We killed these two gates. Again, everyone should have their Holy Strathold Water, Crystal Charges, Goblin Saber Charges, whatever, um, and kill these buggers as quick as possible. Paladins could go in and Holy Wrath them. Basically, whoever can cast Holy Strathold Water, you do it. But wait till they are stacked up at some point. So I would say we stack up on the Warlocks and hopefully they will run for us. And then we kill them. When they're dead, we go back to Nefarian. Um, so that's... Well, I would say that's the safe way to do it. I've seen some people were basically melee stay on Nefarian and let the range take care of them. Um, but yeah, we do. Yeah. So we let the mages and warlocks. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. So warlocks and mages, you're gonna take care of the ads coming in at 20%. Um, yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah, the ads will come to the moon. Blah blah blah. So nuke them down. They don't have much health and should die pretty quickly. Um, and basically, after they're dead, back to Nefarian and keep doing DPS. Um, that's basically it. But if it happens that the Nefarian's basically going to be shielded, I would say ranged should stop DPS because Devrin is not able to build threat on Nefarian anymore. And yeah, melee should run back and stay out of line of sight and bandages if possible. and when the shield is over, you can continue the fight. But I don't think. I think the paladins we have are smart enough to quickly run out of that sight and blah blah blah. And I was reading what Nutella is saying here. Found out this online wild polymorph has no ranged. Are those for retail or just for classic? Widget, did you have any mage class calls during your attempt? Okay, but I would give it attempts to see if it actually works. Okay, so you basically let Nefarin get a shield. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The chances are we're gonna get two of the same class calls are minimal, I think. But the chances are we can get two class calls of the same during the fight. But yeah, as in, so they are random. Oh yeah, one last thing. The reason why we are popping our shadow protection is because in phase one, Nefarian he likes to pop into the fight and start casting shadow ball volleys on the raid. Um, so basically, for progression, we're gonna keep our raiders for the shadow protection until we have more gear and are more able to cope with him showing up. So just to save our healers a bit of mana. I know it maybe not be much, but I will prefer to be on the safe side than not having it. So how are we going to take this on a Wi-Fi for the two doorways, or are we going to basically start the fight and then reset it? Yeah. So I would place all the healers in the middle, where who's jumping here as widgets. I would say warlocks and mages, you are going to be placed right here until we know um, what we are going to get. As I said, if we get the black ones, warlocks, you need to move to the opposite doorway. If we get the blue ones, mages, you need to move to the opposite. But we are going to split the melees into two groups. Not sure if you have made the groups for that. Yeah. Yeah. And I think you should be able to disable that one, to be honest. Dispel. And for the tanks, for the each side, do not go into the cave. Stay around here, and then pick them up. So I'm guessing Heavy Link, you're gonna be here, this side over here. Right. Okay. So don't go into the cave, but stand a bit out, and then take care of them. And I guess who's on the other Eridin? Again, don't go into the cave, stand a bit out, take care of them. Oh, sorry, Heavy Link. You should be on the 45 degree from the, because they're gonna go for the healers. Same for you, Eridin. 45 degrees towards the middle, because as I said, they're gonna go for the healers. I see way too. I get to see way too few on the even side, or is it just me? 246. That's even. Handle. And of course, mages, warlocks, you need to be quick in case you need to switch to Kate. Okay.
Let the games begin.
Darren, Mysticism. We have Black. We got Black on even. So warlocks should go uneven. Mages go even. Darren, you say when you start moving. The Farn incoming. Do not go on the Farn until all the Dragonoids are dead. You still have a blue. So it doesn't matter. Brainstorm. Quickly dispel. Be ready to heal on Erdin. 20 seconds left.
Your friends shall join you soon enough. Worthless wretch, your friends shall join you soon enough. Your friends shall join you soon enough.
Just wipe.
Worthless wretch, your friends shall join you soon enough. Worthless wretch, your friends shall join you soon enough.
So we learned that the mage's position is irrelevant for us, so they get basically going to be placed at the healers and the hunters, and then we are just having people being ready to dispel the polymorphs right away. But this is learning by doing. Shoot. Yeah. We have one to reset. Yeah. Yeah. But to be honest, it went okay for a few seconds. But that's how we learn. We've It's random, but the chances are very much minimum. But for you, yeah. think so. Unless they change that. Thank you. No, absolutely no. Okay, I got root. Okay. Okay, so to say it again, group 1, 3, 5, 7 go left. 2, 4, 6, 8 go right. So this is the right. That's 2, 4, 6, and 8. This one is 1, 3, 5, and 7. Yeah, same. And we need to assign our landing party, which is Candy, I guess, Diamondi and Mysticism, and Devin. Landing party is Devin, Candy, Diamondi, and Mysticism. The spawn's 42. Once there's 42 spawned, well, of course, he spawns before they die. And I guess someone else sneaked in under the radar. Yeah, yeah. So so if you get a mage call, you really have to be quick on the dispel in case Darren's gonna be pull him off again. Yeah. Yeah. And for a side note, we can get two different get different class calls this time. It's not that we're gonna get the mages first again or warriors again. We can maybe get the hunters first time this time around. So it always changes. Just so you know. That means I was in the wrong position. Bad Nipsey. Where's the damn Twitch? Go away. And as see this as we're not yelling at anyone here. We're not blaming anyone. We tried it. We learned something. We talked about it, and basically going back, doing talking about it as we do right now, fixing it, and then we go again. Um, that's place an impact there. I don't know. Well, I think we got some time if people need to get something to drink or a second pee break. Still, we buff up when he's sitting on the throne. How's the stream? Okay, that means we should buff up and get ready. Actually, yeah. No. There it is. So the landing party knows who you are. And the left and right side know which side you're standing on. Yeah, and don't. So you're taking a druid instead. No one in the stream is there? Yeah. I'm good. I see Malibas doesn't have a shadow protection. Goody goody. Yeah, you have a hunter on your side. Yes.
Okay.
Welcome. What?
Okay, so I will say okay.
Good luck, people. So
Let the game
I'll try and count our side over here. Or do you, Devin? Six, 7, 8, 9. We are on 10 here. 12. Can you get new frost traps? 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. Hold on. 18. 19.
the mortal's courage. Now, let's see how they contend with the true lord of Blackwing Lair. Your friends shall join you soon
Yeah.
enough.
And move into position. Please make use of his large hitbox. Our file is very high on threat. Paladins. He's still in here. A bit of warriors. Yeah, be ready on Darren. Druid. Rogue.
Weapon stretch.
Why am
Your
I?
friends shall join you soon enough.
Priest. Only renew and shield. Okay, we got him on 28%. Mages and warlocks get ready. We still have a priest call, so as soon as this priest call is over, we push it. Hunter, it's fine, it's fine. Push it, push it. Incoming ads.
Awesome. Rise, my lords. Serve your master once more.
Whoa. Lack! Holy crap. That was intense lag. Mage. Be ready if... I'm a giraffe. New warlock. All change target. Frost over them. Back to Nefarian. Very good job, very good job. See? Nice! Freaking good job, people.
Do you hear? Nothing!
Phase 3 cleared. So, Pokey, you know what we're supposed to do. So, rest the dead and we can do this. So, I guess we want to be on the other side of the fire for the... Or do we... Can we stand here? So, no, we cannot because damn camera. I would say here, where we're standing right now, facing that way. No, it's just for the kill shot for the entire guild. We can do ours after. You're standing on the wrong side. We have half the guild standing on the other wrong side.
I'm sorry, right now I'm sorry, like, well, like, well, so I'm pretty like a friend because someone just said here, and then
Yeah.
someone
I'm not small.
no, but apparently it is.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, I say 3, 2, 1, smile.
Actually, check another one. Someone just had it on.
Okay. Say when you're ready. Okay, 3, 2, 1, smile. I got it. Pokey here.
What was that? Nothing.
Mm,
Let's open it first, going to the I don't think so. No, no, no. Yeah, but don't you have the headline? The, yeah, because if Aaron has two pieces already, you can use the third. So that's out.
I got it.
No vibes. No vibes.
You got a Cow King's hide. Raven goes for it. Go for the stick. What? Scratch Raven. kind of go for the head. Not sure I'm gonna win it though. Let's see, Sunch as the highest. Congrats, mate. Yeah, let's save the Cow King's hide.
Yeah, I'd apply my sympathy southwest and check the result. So, nice to have another pocket placement. Yeah, so everyone's covered.
What's on your mind? Keep your feet on the ground.
Boo, 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 boo. We make it. We maybe get lucky on Nixie today. And as for a side note, as a whisper, have some here. To be honest, you have no idea how proud I am of for our progress we've been doing so far. Um, for us, it's basically week one clear of tier two content. Yeah, we had some bumps and bruises, but we had fun, which, in my opinion, are more important. We learned something. We were not yelling at each other. We were not getting mad at each other. We took things as they were, and we basically cleared Blackwing Lair in 1 week. Yeah, maybe other guilds did it the first night. So what? Um, but as I said, my prediction were we killed 6 bosses the first night, and we did. And then going back here on a Monday, taking the 2 next bosses, getting the 2 hardest abilities on Chromacus, and still able to do it with basically almost no hour classes, I guess. Um, so yeah, you have no idea how proud I'm of progress so far, and it only gets better. And of course, when we start getting to AQ40, we're gonna do the exact same study groups, all that jazz. but the most important thing is we are having fun. And that's definitely something we did. Yeah, yeah, no problem. There's definitely going to be some updates over the next couple of days because we did go in here and trying things, and some of the things I wrote in the guide are not really working. So that's going to be a version 2 soon, and of course, as soon as it's ready, I'll post it up again. Um, so yeah, again, if you have questions with anything, you are more than welcome to whisper or drag me into our chat. Yeah. Well, we can get unlucky getting the same two abilities next week, but I don't think so. So next week on Chromagis should be a lot easier. Uh, we done it. It is.
Officially, it's 15. When does MC? When does Blackwing Lair? And we've done it 2 hours. We'll be doing multiple boss kills at a time, not quite. But yes, definitely timeline. Again, trying to get out ahead of ourselves, be very mindful that Wednesday night. Thursday as well. So again, no stress. Signed up for the Monday only. Expect to see that day. Don't miss out. Wednesday, half a magical spot.
Well, I'm definitely sure next week's basically going to be a Blackwing Lair clear the first day, first night.
Now, so 3 weeks, next week. So I haven't quite decided what to do about this, guys. Potential ads allow population top 5. Want to see debate. I would like definitely on I think model. It's a great honor. Also, Lisa Trips down here with me. Oh my god. And it's sort of the crowd rules. So before I find druids
Mm. You squeeze me? Brave, yeah. Adam, it was nice to know you. down the line.
when it becomes applicable. Very much. It's depends. It's not safe. That's what tanks haven't lost one so I think
And make sure you trade your hourglass sand if you have any back to mythism. Please. Yeah, let's see.
so we've got big things for
Yeah, because I want to get that over as quick as possible. Because personally, I hate being adept to another guild. Of course, I'm grateful that they were helping out with it. So we should be courtesy of paying them back as quick as possible. So yeah, well, that's my point of view of it. Question is, should we then try and go for an more quicker kill then? I would say yeah, but still, I see the majority of the biggest DPS are in the raid. Where's Pokey? Yeah. But I would say let's go for a very quick kill. Send Darren in, healed him, and kill Onyxia. We're gonna get a second one. Yeah, get a hunter for the run buff. Raven is running. Oh. But yeah, thank you for that. So, so who ran out for summoning? Oh, okay, okay, okay. And to answer everyone, I think I said it like 5 times now. I will upload the logs after Onyxia. I'm interested to see if our small trick on Chromacus actually worked. Yeah, we're gonna try doing speed kill. But then again, you do have to be careful for phase 3, that the tanks get some threat. Handle it. Let's kill Onyxia before phase 3 then. I guess Umi need the black sinew then. Else we basically just give it to Darren. Last not coming? Oh, we pulled behind. Welcome to the raid. Without the dying. I almost got 40% crit. But don't go all out DPS until Devin say it's okay to start go pew pew. He needs to feel for having Nixie under control.
Okay.
And try and stay as far away from the whelp cages as possible, please.
Yeah, who buffs salvation? Can buff the attacks with this.
Okay. Sure.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Say one. Okay, results. Okay.
Reward, please.
Say when we can. No whelps? Holy crap. It's definitely some warrior day. Actually, did we even get any whelps? Nice. We have an off spec. Yeah. Just gives everything. If you need, you need it. Do Darren have this one? Engineering? Darren. Do, oh, okay, so engineers can row? Umi? Yeah. I'm new. Sure. Thank you for the waddle element. Definitely awesome, yeah. And I'll stop the stream. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.